Hello and welcome to the 340th ever Rony's Tuesday Fun Race in Live for Speed for 2024 Season 2 in Live for Speed, sponsored by World Class Lines. I'm Peter Butcher, you're watching Sim Broadcasts, and joining me tonight it's Eoin Harmon. Eoin, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm keeping very well, Pete. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm all good. Let's get on with tonight's broadcast and see what the almost 40 drivers that have qualified for this one are going to do around this track. But first and foremost, let's take a look at what the drivers are up against. It's Westhill International Reversed, the 5.8 kilometre, 3.6 mile configuration in its reverse direction, of course. So we get the hairpin first corner rather than that long right-hander at the top of the hill. 23 laps, in fact, I think it's 17 laps tonight that we're going to be getting in the M400S GT4 car. We'll look forward to that in earnest. They're going to be driving this thing. We've seen it a couple of times before, Eoin, especially as part of the NDR GT4 Sprint Cup earlier this year. By the mod's been created by Alexander 124 Russ in collaboration with Zip LFS, and it's great. It's got a 3-litre V6 rear-wheel drive GT4 configuration, Eoin, and we've seen some great racing so far in this thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's definitely one of the mods that if you're through the demo cars and the S2 license, you want to bump up to S3 and you want to learn some raceability, then I'd definitely recommend this car. Get a reasonable setup, and it is a lot of fun. It's not amazingly quick, so top speed, you should be able to learn your techniques and be able to battle with fellow players. So yeah, it is a great starter car for anyone who wants to probably step up to intermediate class.
Yeah, certainly. Intermediate class car for sure. I think that's a fair way to put it. And the drivers have had a reasonable amount of time to set qualifying laps in it today. We'll get to those in just a minute. But we're blasting through Season 2, Eoin. 12 rounds this season, almost halfway through at the end of tonight's race, which is crazy to think. But yeah, we've got another mod in 2 weeks' time at South City Long Reverse, to another reverse configuration track. In fact, I think there's going to be that track is going to be used a fair bit in a couple of weeks' time, so we'll have plenty of broadcasts coming from South City at the beginning of September. Let's take a look then at the qualifying results as they happened in tonight's qualifying session, because as we mentioned, and as Rony has told us, this is probably the biggest qualifying session so far in the second half of the year, and it's Antti Valter who's taken pole position ahead of Gabor by 0.2 of a second. Then it's TJ, Mantas, Unite, T-Bug, Mandula. Eoin, we've got some great names at the front of this field. This is going to be a pretty tight race.
Absolutely, yeah. I think 37 entrants. Perhaps one or two drivers may get bumped out. For another 107%, I think that'll be all right. Just about.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Yeah, so it's the highest attended race in the last 6 months or thereabouts. So yeah, brilliant to have. Perhaps the end of the summer, heading into autumn, drivers are happy to get racing again. Perhaps they had some time off and are now ready to commit once again to RTFR.
Yeah, as the darker nights come in, we will see more and more players coming back to their PCs of an evening to do some simulator racing with us, which we appreciate, of course. But yeah, this is going to be a fantastic race. We've got a lot of drivers up the front there who have plenty of experience. Lots of drivers who have been on the top spot of a championship recently in Live for Speed. We've got Mantas there, we've got Gabor there as well, and Valter. Very strong qualifying session from him. Let's see what he can manage in tonight's race. Before we get onto the racing action, let's quickly update you on the state of the Drivers' Championship standings. It is Antti Valter who leads the way in this one, ahead of Flamuli, with Gabor, Motomikari, Koivunen, Unite, Sufor, Magic and Asker, and Lorenzo rounding out the top 10 in. As we flip to the action, and do you want to take us away for the start of the race?
Of course, yeah. Apologies to the other drivers who we didn't get to see in the table this week. I'm sure we'll get to you next time. But yeah, today's a chance for plenty more drivers to get their names listed on the championship boards. But let's go racing with the long haul. But it's a release. Antti Valter in the red has to be wary of Gabor on his inside. He'll actually slip into the gap and he actually counterattacks. So now Mantas has a good run on TJ just in camera shot now in the Born to Race colours. So uphill right, and then the double apex coming. So in this car it will be very tricky as the rear end wants to step out. We hopefully have no serious contacts among cars. It looks like everyone has kept it reasonably clean. But there's one car sitting on start finish, not going at all. They mustn't have realised the race was on. So they'll need to be spectated within a minute if they haven't got going.
Yeah, we've already got 3 wide coming into turn 4 as, who is that who sneaks through? It's Mantas up into P3, TJ in 4th as we've got Unite with a tank slapper coming up into the hairpin, and we've got cars off. I think that was one of the ZFRL cars. Yeah, we've got ZFRL, Zafralis Thamuli off in the gravel at the back there, along with, who else was that in the gravel? Twin Cam and Mandula. As Antivalta leads into the chicane for the first time of asking. Here's Unite recovering up into P6 now, just ahead of Sufor, who's had a good start.
Yeah, Twin Cam hasn't had much luck recently with lap 1, lap 2 starts, so he'll have to work his way all the way up from 23rd. He was doing so well, but now we're going to check out Unite against Sufor for just a moment. They're now heading into the final complex, so up the hill through turn 12, and they'll hit the sector line just under the Avon sign, I believe. There we go. And Unite will hold the outside line for turn 13, so Sufor has a chance to attack. But yeah, a little bit of a gradient here will help Unite for just a moment. And now they'll go side by side into the final corner. Bravest driver will get the advantage.
Oh, very, very nice from Sufor there, and he's done it around the outside. That gives Majesta an opportunity up the inside of Unite, who was put off his line thanks to that move, and he goes around on the inside, so Unite loses 2 places in one corner. Oh, but Sufor's seen him. In fact, Majesta gains the most out of that. What happened to Sufor's gearing? Has he got a very short final gear? Well, Unite must have got a big toe or something, because Sufor went from hero back to 0 there.
My goodness gracious, yeah, Mosh Macari was very close to Sufor. Now they're wiggling, ready for more battles, but of course they do have the chicane before the Westhill Bridge itself, so that will perhaps invite a few more attacks into what is turn 5 rather than what we normally know as turn 3.
Yeah, as we've got Neves going up the inside of, was that Twin Cam? Yes, it was. Twin Cam has to go off and around the back of the tyre stacks thanks to that one. That was an opportunistic move by Neves into the chicane and, pushed Twin Cam off the track and around the back of the tyres. Meanwhile, back at the front, we've got Unite on the inside of Majesta at the end of the back straight, and that looks like a pretty simple move. So everything's back to the way it was pretty much, except Sufor has lost a place. Majesta gains one. And Unite
There's
again.
for Cratch here. Pete, he's been tagged by Stifla and Ayub. Similarly, he was trying to battle Magic, but it went pear-shaped from in 8, 9 and 10, so he's lost some positions, but thankfully the Born to Race drivers, when they made contact, they didn't cost themselves or crash any real time, but I'm concerned perhaps about his rear end stability. His car is not behaving as it needs to from, and Michael even has to go high to avoid him, so now Ayub will get through.
Well, that's the thing, there wasn't any avoiding to happen. Crash kind of washed out wide and tagged Michael. Michael couldn't really have gone anywhere else there. But yeah, Crash's rear end of that car is not looking too great, as we have Antivalta taking fastest lap, immediately snatched away by Gabor as they go over start finish, immediately snatched away again by Mantas. So the top 3 are pushing each other on pace and trying to get away from TJ, but it looks really like T-Bug is leading the best of the rest at the moment, which is pretty impressive. It's quite a high place to find T-Bug, but clearly has the experience in the N400S GT4, which has graced our screens on several occasions this year already, Owen, especially as part of the inaugural season of the NDR GT4 Sprint Cup, which went down an absolute treat earlier in the year. And no thanks, of course, I think all the thanks, in fact, to the M400S GT4. What a car it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks the part, it sounds the part, and in T-Bug's hands, yeah, he's got a lot to be doing here against Unite. Turn 7, I will note, if you have a low gearing setup, then yeah, you want to be very careful or else the car will spin. So he's going to go the high line into 8. Can he get the braking done? T-Bug will respond. Unite has to perhaps lift a little bit And
Watch out for Manchester again.
Manchester, exactly, yeah. Manchester's in play. What can he do? He's going to stay behind T-Bug, so he could get another slipstream trick against these two. T-Bug has to slide into place, and it distracts Unite.
Oh, he's gone off.
He's on the grass. Sufor, watch out.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester just patient and putting his car in all the right places. Unite overstretching himself again, goes off the track for at least the fourth time that we've seen this race. And Manchester's lining himself up for a move for P5 on the inside at the penultimate corner. That'll be job done. And he'll just have to wait for the home straight now as Unite comes back at him. Clearly not happy to be passed. These guys are trading places every corner. You've got Sufor up the inside now on T-Bug. And, well... unbelievable.
McElroy's here. He wants a piece of this. And he's got a beautiful run. He's going to be 230 kilometers an hour across the line. But the slipstream comes back and it's 3 wide nearly. Oh, he closed the door. And there's contact. 136 will be in the gravel trap. Oh, no. Door.
That's a hard hit.
Left-hand side door. Oh. He's out of the race.
I mean, that's what happens when you have drivers squabbling for position in the braking zone. I mean, you had 3-4 cars all on the absolute limit there. Sufor wheel on the grass and collects 136 in the process. But yeah, you got to feel for them. As we've got Lorenzo making a move on Asker just before the chicane. He's up to P9. We've got McElroy and T-Bug continuing their incidents. And McElroy, I think he's resumed now, but they were off. Into the chicane there. They've gone completely straight on. So lots of drama at the front, and that means that we've got actually it's the top 5 back to the way they were pretty much.
My goodness, yeah, it's pretty much restored to its original order, albeit there's a bit of a field spread now. Stifler wants to get down the inside of Teemu Soini. Yeah, he had a big disadvantage. He's got 2 Born to Race cars to deal with, and he's going to understeer and lose a handful of positions there. Johnny SVK, the 4th driver to reap the rewards there. So just so much going on now. Yeah,
4 places lost.
Queue.
Yeah, and more waiting in the wings to try and get past Teemu Soini. Once you lose momentum, it's super hard to get it back, especially when the drivers in this field are hungry for points. And with the biggest grid we've seen in a while, it's not surprising that we're seeing this much drama. The drivers have had to wait a fair while to have a grid more than 30 cars as Jari Katila makes up a place into P20.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to be the highest climber. There are certainly no shortage of candidates all trying to gain the most amount of positions. We're going to check out Magic and Arska for just a sec now on the start-finish straight. Magic has the inside line. He'll certainly try and slipstream off his teammate Lorenzo. He'll gain the first phase in his favour. And he'll complete the move. Lovely opportunistic driving to get by. And now he's got a sprint clear as Arska will want to counterattack. And then just out of the frame in this helicopter cam, it's Sufor who wants another crack at the top 10.
Yeah, he was making his mark on the top 10, had plenty of opportunities to keep his position, but got unlucky on the run down to turn 1 as he finds himself now in P12. He's lucky that he wasn't taken completely out of the race. 136 ended up retiring as a result of slamming into the turn 1 barrier sideways. That's a big impact on the door. But meanwhile, it's Antti Valter leading with a 6/10 of a second lead over Gabor as we switch to Crash again in the purple car, who has company, I think it's fair to say.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Tons of company here with all kinds of teams. Jari a bit wobbly. He'll rescue it for the time being, and his teammate Teemu will... Yeah, his teammate in World Class Lions, Teemu Soini, gets the position there. He reacted safely to make the move. Yeah, there we go. Tamuli and Matt McCarry, if they can catch up, they can work together to try and battle the Born to Race duo. On board now from Tamuli's point of view in the Twitch stream that he hosts on his own channel. So yeah, he has the...
Switching to Eoin and Martin McElroy now as we go into the final corner. Eoin with potentially a good slipstream on the back of Martin McElroy as we've got a car off ahead. That's T-Bug again as drivers going side by side over start finish. And Gabor's taken the lead. Oh no, he hasn't. They're side by side and coming out of the first corner. We missed it. Gabor makes a move for the lead. Apologies, ladies and gents. Gabor must have been getting close to the back of Valter into turn one. The gap was quite big, Eoin, so I'm surprised it's come down that fast. But anyway, the move has been made off camera somewhere. Turn one probably, and it's Gabor, our new race leader.
Yeah, the lap time 0.8 of a second for Gabor taken out of Anti's time, so 1:59.8 against a 2:06. They'll cross sector 1 line now, and it's another 0.3 in favour of Gabor after making the pass. So yeah, he definitely slashed the gap he needed to get alongside Anti, and he now has his chance to lead. And he was saying in our Twitch chat, surviving is my goal. Well,
he's doing more than that.
Maybe upgraded at this stage, exactly.
Yeah, surviving what? The podium? I don't know what he's on about. But anyway, Sufa up the inside again, up to P10 now. Actually, is that P11? That is P11. No, what is that? Yes, it is P11. My apologies. Asker will be the top 10. That's the car just ahead of him. But Magic there, getting passed by a driver who has been scoring some decent results when he's been able to finish. But again, today, just a couple of incidents that have meant it's been quite difficult for him to get a footing in the race. Mandula on Michael, old friends, going at it into the long left-hander here. And trying to find the way around Michael Malik.
Well, Sufor has gone off at turn 9, I think. Or sorry, that's turn 12.
Oh, yeah, big off.
Huge mistake, whatever that was, or if he was involved with another driver that sent him off. We don't know for sure, but he had to use the recovery road when it was safe to do so. Now he's all the way down in 21st.
Well, we missed that one as well, but that looked like a big incident. The front right of that car completely smashed up, and well, that's going to be an unfortunate drive to the end for him. He's down in 21st, as you said. Difficult to recover anything from there with the state of that car. As we aren't getting a break here, as I'm sure the viewers that watched the GT4 Sprint Cup will attest. There's not really much time to talk in, not much time for a break in these races because of how adrenaline filled they are. But here we have, we've got Stiefler and his teammate Eoin with Martin McElroy. Oh, sorry, that's Thamuli in the background, who makes contact. But it also looks like we've missed Mantas getting through into P2, so it's not going well for us at the front here today. Valter losing another place and appears to just be dropping off at this point, Eoin.
Gosh, yeah, to see Valter fall away like this, it's really concerning for him. But if he can settle down and dust himself off, then a podium is certainly within realistic possibility. But yeah, the class of Mantas and Gabor really starting to shine now. And Anti, despite getting pole position, he's been sent quite far back in just 7 3/4 laps. Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. More battles here. Oh, T-Bug involved. Martin McElroy sent backwards now. He's got to wait and wait. There's no gap until Rony here. So Rony's going to just dodge them. Oh, no, he won't. He won't. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, bad rejoin. And I'm sensing a common denominator. T-Bug's been involved in some of the incidents here this evening. Certainly had some of his name appearing among the cars that have been involved in incidents, but that, who knows what caused that. Martin McElroy rejoining in front of Rony just to add insult to injury, as we've still got these two Born to Race cars fighting with the Muli, the other ZFRL car. Over start finish, slight almost door-to-door contact there. They're trying to bump draft each other, but now, oh no, hard into the wall. That was a big. Was he pushed off there? He was squeezed off the road. Stiefler squeezed Thamuli off the road into the tyre barrier. I mean, we see elbows out, but we don't see elbows out there very often. That was rude of Stiefler.
Well, yeah, there will be a few hurt feelings, I'm sure, after the end of this race. But yeah, Rony, who must have had an accident of his own, he's a lap down. so must have got himself a new car and started from scratch.
Well, this has been a disaster
one
of a
instance.
race.
Yeah, he's a lot of review work to do at the end of this one. That's within reasonable doubt.
Disaster of a race for ZFRL. Their best driver, well, their only driver left in the race, down in 22nd place as we watch Asker now trying to get past Lorenzo. And Twincam gets past Yari Tiller. So Yari going back again to P20, where he was before. And although Antti-Valter has the fastest lap, he is losing touch with the top two. He does seem to be relatively safe at the moment from TJ, but given the fact that Valter went from leading the race to P3 in quite a short space of time, don't rule TJ out for a podium here, Eoin.
No, I can't rule TJ's momentum out here now if Antti doesn't manage to recover what he's lost. Fastest lap there from Gabor, so he is settling into this car comfortably now, nearly 3 seconds better off. So yeah, TJ on the march. If he keeps this up, Antti will have even more pressure.
Yeah, I mean, this also shows you the reason why we don't often, especially at Westhill, we don't tend to have the reverse direction in top flight leagues, because obviously you've got unprotected armcos and unprotected barriers. I'm just thinking back to Thamouli's slam into the tile barrier, completely unprotected there. It sent him straight back onto the racing line. The B2R cars were lucky not to be wiped out as a result of that, but really unlucky. And well, it's nothing he could have done. He would have had to break out of it before he even made the move. And he had room when he made the move. He was just pushed off. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll know exactly what happened there, and the appropriate action will be taken. But yeah, we have to keep going. It's still lap 9 for the leaders. And yeah, it is clear enough. TJ versus Unite, that's 9 seconds of a gap. So yeah, it's really about these big four drivers and how they fare for the second half of the race. But the top 10, that's where the action is. Magic, Arska and Lorenzo and Reject all in this contest, trying their best to find the ultimate for their hard work.
We've got who's this? We've got Crash and Twincam in a fight, and Crash gets that all wrong. Twincam keeps P18 then, as we will keep an eye on that gap between P4 and P3. Currently, Valter has one hand on the podium. He did have both hands on the win eventually. A moment ago. So we've got a car off here. Who's that? Is that?
It's Sufor again.
Oh, it's Sufor again.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That could be all she wrote.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's had enough.
It's a shame to have a DNF, considering where he was at the beginning of the race. So desperately unlucky. But sometimes they go your way, sometimes they don't. And when they start to go badly, it's so hard to recover, especially when you fall out of the rhythm. Super difficult. Speaking of rhythms, Mantas 3 seconds almost behind Gabor. Antti-Valter, who has dropped out of that rhythm, is, as the gap comes down below 2 seconds. No, it hasn't just yet, but TJ is looming larger and larger in Valter's rear view mirrors. So let's see what happens with our podium. At the moment, there are only really 4 drivers in with a shout of the podium, but we've seen crazier things here in RTFR, as you will attest. Anything can happen.
Yeah, we've had punctures and people run out of fuel. Certainly in Westhill's case, we definitely had a race where people ran out of fuel towards the end. So yeah, it's not impossible. Mistakes will be made, but it is quids in for the 4 drivers. In front to survive and get themselves good points. But now the side-by-side into the chicane. Arska has the position for the right-hander at least. Lorenzo, can you get him on turn-in? No, Arska's got the move done.
Well, that's the second time he's gone for that move. He backed out of it on the last lap, but this time decides to make it stick, and that was a very clean pass. That's the way we like to see it done into that corner. And Arska up to P8. So the drivers in the kind of top of the midfield deciding that they want to not take too many risks to make their moves, which seems to be paying off. As we've got Twincam making a move on JSK, that's Johnny SVK. Twincam on the outside for the next turn, which is not really going to work. Maybe he's going to try the switchback, and that's exactly what he's going to try and do. Oh, he's backed out of it.
Yeah, it's probably wise just to back out because he just needs to overtake 2 more drivers in the Master Race Car stable, and then he'll be within touching distance of the majority of his team in Stiefel and Ayub. So that'll probably be consolation for him after a strong qualifying if he can get back up to his squad mates and get himself through the rest of today. But yeah, it is a daunting sight. You can see his teammates in the distance there, but nevertheless he has a lot of work to do if he wants to get near them.
Looks like Twin Cam's had a can of Flovis explode inside his cockpit, unless the team were trying to check out the aerodynamics of the internals of the car. But yeah, he's trying to have another go to try and catch up to the back of JSK. Not quite within slipstreaming range. Very green the inside of that car.
Yeah, well, it's not the official shade of green that we use on our sports jerseys, but it's perfectly valid in my estimation. Yeah, you can't miss him. Oh, Michael's wide, and he could get Johnny SVK on the run up to 7. Yes, he can. Lovely stuff, and a little bit of good fortune at last for Twin Cam.
And Lorenzo gets back past Oscar on the back straight, so it took Oscar 2 laps to get past Lorenzo on that straight, and well, he's returned the favour, but it's not over yet. We've got Magic in the background watching all of this unfold. These two fighting quite hard, and fair play because it's a place well inside the top 10. They don't risk dropping outside the top 10 unless they get caught by Magic. So they have a bit of time to have this fight. They don't want to fight forever, obviously, otherwise they will just lose more places. But now it's Magic, who I think is quite well set, Owen, for a pass on the home straight if these two continue to go side by side.
Yeah, it's encouraging signs here for Magic with the knowledge that we've seen earlier in the race about how these cars behave in the slipstream. They are really, really primed for a straight line speed, and Lorenzo is going to give up a little bit of speed himself with that excursion onto the grass. Now here comes the attack from Magic. He's through on Arska already, and he should be able to just line it up, blocking the world-class Lions for the pass. Yeah, the race green guys, they've worked out a nice partnership, and Arska left all alone, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, race green versus WCL. You know what's going to happen in that situation. I wonder if Lorenzo will fight with Magic, or whether there will be some sort of allowance for him to go through, but we'll see. It looks like the kind of momentum has definitely shifted to Magic at this point, but Oscar is right back with him, so who knows what's going to happen at the end of the back straight. So Oscar's going to get a nice double toe. Magic is a little bit far off the back of Lorenzo actually out of that corner, so Oscar goes for the move on the inside.
Oh, the overspeed here for Oscar. He's got about 2 or 3 extra kilometers, and he'll use it effectively for first section of the chicane. Now part 2, got to slow it down. Yeah, a bit of oversteer, rear end pushing itself out towards
it's brilliant, isn't it? It's so agile, this car.
Yeah,
even on the brakes, on the hard braking into the chicane, the car wants to rotate. It's really, really awesome, and that was a nice move by Oscar once again.
Oh, he's understeering. Careful now. That's undone that work. And
Never
Reject, who is the second best Born to Race car on the leaderboard as of right now. This could be his chance to get into the top 10.
Yeah, Oscar will be spitting feathers after that, having been battling for P8, now down to P10, and it is the race green boys ahead who are now really, really close together. So potentially 2 changes for position coming up on the home straight. We're not even paying attention to anywhere else. The gap at the front is stable, 2 seconds pretty much separating first, second, third and fourth each, with Unite quite a way off in P5, as we have Lorenzo with a gap over Magic, who's been caught by Oscar over start finish. Oscar goes around the outside, and it's going to be clear by the time he gets to the braking zone.
Oh, he's gone in very deep. It's not it's not a second coming, unfortunately. He's made a huge error for the second time in a minute, and that will be the final punishment, I have to say, as Reject is through and P10 has vanished from Arska's hold.
he was ahead at the braking zone. He left it too late. He got too greedy on the brakes, and there was absolutely no need for it. So all that hard work, as you said, undone, and now he needs to try and catch Reject if he wants that top 10 back. So not a comfortable final 5 laps for World Class Lions' Asker, as it's Mantas now who holds the fastest lap. Let's see what he can do in the last four laps as they come up to the final couple of corners. Mantas having a nice race. Of course, these 5 drivers at the top of this race, very familiar with the front of the grid in RTFR. Any one of them could still win it, of course, but really it's a 2-horse race at the moment between Gabor and Mantas. But what can Mantas do? Let's compare their gap as they come across start-finish, as we've got a car off there at the final corner.
Yes, Hermione, who's a few laps down of this day, he's just been lapped, I think, for the second time.
The gap goes down by a 1/10 across start-finish. Not enough, obviously, to make an incursion into Gabor's lead, really, at the moment, but every little helps. As I think we've got Steve Martin timing out of the server, unfortunately. So that's going to be a retirement for Steve.
Yeah, something happened to him, I think, on lap 2 that made him lose a lot of time, so it's not been a particularly memorable entry for him tonight, but hopefully he can recover for next time.
Yeah, the gap between TJ and Valter only down to 1.9, so I think if those two keep circulating the way they are, there should be no change there. But a driver that's struggling and has been involved in a number of fights and potentially an incident on his own as well is 12 seconds behind TJ now, so quite a way off, and kind of on his own. So too is Pekka Koivunen. I don't think I've said Pekka Koivunen. Have I said the word Pekka Koivunen once this race? Completely out of the action and running around in a very nice P6, as it's the teammates who are back together again, Magic and Lorenzo onto the back straight, with Reject waiting there, as well as Asker and Mandula's caught up to this group too. So the battle for P8 is very much alive, Owen.
It is for sure, yeah. And just quickly, Steve Martin's internet just rescued his race before he got kicked out, so he's still in it in 22nd. So yeah, that's a little bit of a correction for both of our parts. So yeah, apologies to Stephen. Now this battle carries on with aplomb. Lorenzo holding on for dear life. The only way is down. If Magic wants to take over the leadership for the team, with Mandula, of course, he'll be excited with the opportunity to gain potentially 2 positions, maybe all 3 of them.
Well, he's going
before the end.
Mandula's just made up a place. He's got past Asker very easily there. As Magic goes wide, Reject goes wide as well. That's going to give Mandula potentially 2 places. Well, he's going to get 1 before the final corner. There he goes around the outside on Reject. Easy peasy. 2 moves this lap already for Mandula. And will he have the momentum to get past Magic on this lap as well? That would be fantastic for his race. Already into the top 10. And yeah, Magic's going sideways and out onto the grass again. Mandula's going to get it easily here. So we've got 3 race green cars all together again.
We've 4 Born to Race cars in a row and 2 Master Race cars in a row. So Mosh McCarry is spoiling it for the World Class Lions in the top 20 thereabouts. So down the inside, Mandula, has he got it? He has. Yeah, Magic should yield.
Oh, a great move from Asker as well.
Yeah, Asker's also back ahead
on the outside. It's all going on. This car, honestly, every single time we see it, it produces fantastic racing. It's the GT4 class in Live for Speed. If any mod makers are listening, we need more GT4s in Live for Speed. It's a formula that just works so well in online competition in LFS, and I think the GT4 Sprint Cup needs a second GT4 at least in its lineup. So yeah, let's bolster that GT4 mod package in Live for Speed if we can, because this is epic. Look at Asker; he's going to try and get Magic here as well.
Yeah, he's patiently waiting to be able to go full throttle until the braking zone, right on the 100-meter board. Getting lots of handy curb there, as well as kicking up some of the dust. Oh, he's tempted now to just get the job done, but Magic is holding on. So I think Asker is happiest in these slalom sections. Obviously, he's made a few mistakes in this part of the track and indeed the first corner. But remarkably, he has shown a lot of grit just to keep fighting and get right back in the battles, as Gabor sets another fastest lap at 1:59 dead.
Yeah, and he's got 2 laps to go, including this one for his Sidus liveried car. He's actually running the GT4 Sprint Cup livery, blast from the beginning of the year. In fact, yeah, a fair few of the drivers are using their GT4 Sprint Cup liveries, and why not? Nice to see them all out again on show for us. It's Mantas currently P2, 2.4 seconds the gap. He's really piling as much pressure as he can on Gabor, but there's just not enough laps left. There's not enough time on the lap for either of these drivers to gain or lose enough time to change the lead, I don't think, at this stage. TJ holding on to P3. In fact, he's gained. Has he gained a place? Did we miss that one as well? I think we've missed every single time Valter's lost a place this race.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. He lost a ton of time in that last lap.
He spared his blushes on, what, 3 occasions now?
Yeah.
He's a lucky boy, but unfortunately that is P4 for Valter. I think it happened a few laps ago. I think I had a double take when I said that TJ was in P3. Yeah, Valter, unfortunately, has dropped off the podium on this one. Mandula has done what Magic could not do and is caught up to the back of Lorenzo in such a position that he might be able to get past. You can see there in the background, Magic currently with Asker and Reject. Mandula's not going to be making that move.
That's
this
Reject on the inside, just out of camera shot. Has he gone in very hot? Oh, he made it work.
Done it.
So Asker's out of position again. Reject, though, getting a bit too much dirty air from Magic. And this battle outside of what we were seeing with Lorenzo Mandula just heats up and up before the final lap can begin with race leader. There we go, final lap indication on the timing screen. Mantas trying his best to deny Gabor's hat-trick, so he has the fastest lap, 1/100th better off than last lap.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And he took a ton of time out of Gabor on that lap. I think it was over. In fact, it was 2 to 3 tenths he took out of him on that lap. Won't be enough by those margins, but good effort and a solid podium if he can keep it. As we've got Mandula in the draft, Lorenzo going defensive on his teammate to try and keep him behind. Lorenzo has held on to that place on several occasions this race already. Mandula goes to the outside. We've seen moves on the outside made. You've got to be very brave. You've got to hope the driver on the inside gives you space. But Mandula will try this again down to the chicane. Let's see if he can manage it. As Reject in the background, as you said, Owen, he's really hotting up against Magic as well. He wants to get past too.
That's right. And this is the final opportunity to get something completed here. Oh, and there's a real chance for Mandula. It was Lorenzo placing the car where he needed to, but now he's loose on the climb up from 6 now into the right-hander of 7. The switcheroo almost available there. So this is definitely Mandula's chance to serve for game. Let's see if he can do it.
Lorenzo goes defensive on the inside. Yeah. Mandula to the outside. Let's see what happens here. We've not seen a move around the outside yet this race. Mandula tries to hold it there, but it's just not worked. As at some point we're going to have to focus on our race leader. We don't want to get too carried away with this. But
yeah, here he
Mandula
is.
Really trying to get that move made as Gabor runs down to the final corner. At the final corner, across start finish, he will come now to win round 4 of season 2 of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race for 2024. Owen, stellar drive from him. But I think we need to pick up with this again.
Yeah, we can't take our eyes off this incredible race green battle for the superiority in the team today. Race winner's time at 34 minute 1 second. So perhaps Gabor be saying I should have done it in 34 minutes flat. But now this will be the slipstream battle. One corner to go. Mandula's holding on the high line now. Try the cut.
Oh, he might do it.
And sliding. He could do it here. Lorenzo's loose.
It's going to be so close.
It's photo finish. Here we go. Oh, it is. They're literally nose to nose.
Whoa,
it's a tie. It may come down to a human
Mandula
review.
got it. But
Mandula's
got
credited.
It.
But
whoa.
Yeah, that could be a human review. That was so close.
That will be a human review. Chris is going to get us the human review because that was so close to call. The overhead camera at the gantry, it just flashed past too quickly for us to make it out. The timing tower has them as level pegging with Mandula just registered ahead. We'll get the photo finish confirmed, but that was an intense battle. I mean, Mandula made up so many places at the end there, Owen. It went up like 4 or 5 places in the last 3 laps. But yeah, Gabor, Stella once again, didn't hear much from him. He just drove his race the way he needed to. It was Mantas in the end in P2. TJ rounds off the podium. Antti Valter, unfortunately, on this occasion, just not able to keep in the top 3. Drops out. Fortunately for him, we didn't catch any of the overtakes live. So, yeah, for all we're concerned, he might as well have won it.
Yeah, some drive nevertheless there. Yeah, great showings for the drivers in the top 10. I'm sure there'll be plenty who will be saying it should have been them. Maybe on another day they wouldn't have had the bad luck, take them down places. But yeah, that's just the risk of the GT4 has a lot of bite within it. So yeah, a few excellent drives, and of course Westhill does bring out a ton of challenges, so mistakes are very likely as well.
Yeah, as we can see, Gabor there perched up on victory lane. Well, although not quite from that camera angle, you can't, but he is up there. And very well deserved once again for him. Wow, that was pretty epic. Let's do a full rundown of the order. It looks like Mandula did get the win, confirmed, extremely close. I don't think Chris can even eyeball it from the image. We're going to see. Mandula's nose is caved in apparently on the car, Owen. So that's why it's hard to actually tell whether. He's got it. Chris has measured the wing mirrors even to work out whether he's won it, and it's 2 inches apparently, 2 inches across the line for Mandula. So fair play. But yeah, Gabor, 34 minutes and 1 second. Only Owen is disappointed with that performance and wished it was a 34 flat. Mantas in P2, TJ P3, so 3 teams represented on our podium today. Very nice. With Antti Valter, Unite, Pekka Koivunen, Manchester, Mandula, Lorenzo, and Magic, your top 10. Then we've got Reject, Ayub, Twincam, Stiefler, Asker, Johnny SVK, Michael Malik, Mortimer Carey, Crouch, and Timu Soini, your top 20.
Page 2, we have the remaining 14 other drivers. So Jari Katila in 21st ahead of Steve Martin, Perry D, Omar, or OA for short. They were the final drivers on the lead lap. Harmani, I think he had a spin in the last corner, so that brought him a lap down. Born to Race Rocket also had a problem of some sort, so he had to actually pit his actual car, the only one to do so, rather than just telepitting and resetting like Rony did there in 27th and last on the road. Sufor, we saw him, he had a lot of pace, but it unraveled on him and he lost his patience, unfortunately, so he retired. Tamuli had the crash with T-Bug there, so both of them were eliminated from the race. 136 for Born to Race also out of proceedings. LG Meese, who's also in Twitch chat, he didn't get very far, unfortunately. Denialator and H2O Neves also out pretty early.
Thank you very much for that rundown, Owen. I think we have an image of the photo finish. I just need to find it here on our end. We'll bring you that at the end, I think, as we wrap up the show. But Owen, what another fantastic event here today, and another round of racing where the GT4s in Live for Speed just provide and provide and provide. I don't think we've had a boring race with those cars. So yeah, that was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Pretty much what I commented on already. Yeah, some drivers will be delighted with their showing. There was just so much fun out there, and the name of the championship, of course, contains the word fun, so it makes perfect sense. But yeah, for the other drivers who weren't so lucky, It goes to show that this car does possess all that grunt, and it really is a handful at times, but it really was a spectacular event, and it really does build us up to enter September on a new real dash momentum. So we're really excited to see what's next.
Can you see that on your screen, Eoin?
Yeah, I can. Oh my word! Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where the line is. Chris has given me an image where there's no line on it, but the finish line is there apparently. But that's the wing. If you look at the wing mirrors, you can see that Mandula was ahead just at the line. So there you go. According to Live for Speed, on that frame, Mandula has finished and Lorenzo hasn't. So thank you very much to Chris for that image where there is no finish line. But that is where the finish line is apparently. So there you go. We are back on your screens for RTFR action in 2 weeks' time with the 341st RTFR with I think it's a single seater, is it not? Is it Grand Prix Legends car?
Yeah, Grand Prix Legends 1967 car.
There we go. At South City Long. I always knew I could trust you with that one, Owen.
Well, I couldn't make that mistake, unfortunately. So, I'm glad I got it right.
Thank you very much. And thank you everybody else for joining us for what was probably one of my favourite rounds of the season so far in RTFR. And that is round 4 at Westhill International Reversed with the N400S GT4 in the for speed. Thanks everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please consider following or subscribing to our Twitch and YouTube channels. We really appreciate that. We're getting close to the 1,000 mark on YouTube now, which is nice. It'd be good to get there at some point soon. But thank you everyone for your support. We're here for your pleasure, and we hope that we are doing just that. So thanks again. Owen, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you on the next one. Good night.
Bye-bye.